Germany, a key ally of the United States and a major contributor to NATO, has long been a cornerstone of Western alliances. In 2024, Germany spent over $97 billion on defense, making it the second largest defense spender in NATO after the United States, which allocated a staggering $968 billion. The US is also Germany's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade between the two nations reaching €255 billion in 2024. As Europe's largest economy, Germany is not only a powerhouse within the European Union, but also the biggest contributor to the EU budget. Globally, Germany ranks as the third largest economy and the second largest in the G7. Currently, Germany hosts over 35,000 US military personnel, more than any other European country. This underscores Germany's pivotal role in the Western alliance. Since World War II, the US-Germany relationship has been strong, with the US investing billions through the Marshall Plan to rebuild West Germany's economy and infrastructure. This historical bond has ensured that Germany has always leaned toward the US in its foreign policy. However, for the first time, we're seeing a significant shift. Anti-American, anti-NATO, anti-EU, and pro-Russian political parties are gaining traction in Germany. On February 23, 2025, Germany will hold its federal elections. Polls suggest that the center-right Christian Democratic Union, CDU, political party of former Chancellor Angela Merkel, and its allies are in a strong position. Meanwhile, the current center-left Chancellor Olaf Scholz and his coalition partners are struggling to maintain their popularity. The CDU's candidate for chancellor is Friedrich Merz. But here's the twist. Two pro-Russian political parties are projected to secure a quarter of the votes and enter the Bundestag, Germany's parliament. Yes, you heard that right. Pro-Russian narratives are gaining momentum in Germany, and two parties are leading this charge. The first is the far-right Conservative Alternative for Germany, AfD, with Alice Weidel as its chancellor candidate. The second is the left-wing Bündnis Sarah Wagenknecht, BSW, named after its leader, Sarah Wagenknecht, who is also running for chancellor. While these parties have different ideologies, they share some common policies, particularly regarding Russia. Let's dive deeper into these two parties. The AfD was founded in 2013 by right-wing economists and conservative politicians in response to the Eurozone crisis. Initially, the party opposed EU bailout packages for struggling economies like Greece, Portugal, and Spain, arguing that stronger economies like Germany shouldn't bear the burden. Over time, the AfD became more radical, criticizing the EU as a bureaucratic and undemocratic organization that undermines German sovereignty. On the other hand, the BSW is a relatively new party, established in January 2024. It emerged as a breakaway faction from the Left Party, accusing it of abandoning the working class and failing to address economic inequality. The BSW traces its roots to the Socialist Unity Party of Germany, which ruled East Germany during the Cold War. After World War II, Germany was divided into East and West, with East Germany under Soviet influence and West Germany aligned with the US and its allies. This division lasted until German reunification in 1990. Both the AfD and BSW are focusing heavily on the Ukraine war in their campaigns, and they're gaining traction. They blame NATO and the US for provoking the conflict, arguing that NATO's expansionist policies are the root cause. Both parties criticize the EU's financial and military aid to Ukraine, calling for an end to such support. Sarah Wagenknecht of the BSW has called for a shift in Germany's stance toward Russia, a position echoed by the AfD. In June 2024, when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the Bundestag, AfD members walked out in protest. The AfD has even demanded a review of Germany's NATO membership, while the BSW advocates for NATO's complete dissolution. The rise of these parties can be attributed to Germany's economic struggles following the Russia-Ukraine war. Germany, Europe's largest manufacturing economy, relied on Russia for 55% of its gas imports before the war. The EU and US sanctions on Russia forced Germany to seek alternative energy sources, leading to skyrocketing energy prices. Today, Germany has the highest energy costs in Europe, and 2 out of 3 German companies have partially relocated their operations abroad. Both the AfD and BSW are capitalizing on public frustration, arguing that Germany is suffering due to its alignment with the US and EU. The AfD wants Germany to leave the EU and reintroduce the Deutsche Mark, while the BSW seeks major reforms within the EU. Both parties also advocate for reopening the Nord Stream gas pipeline and resuming cheap gas imports from Russia to revive Germany's industry. The AfD and BSW aren't just gaining traction in polls, they've already proven their appeal in recent state elections. In Thuringia, a former East German state, the AfD won nearly 33% of the vote in September 2024, a significant increase from its 23.4% share in 2019. Meanwhile, the BSW, contesting its first state election, secured 16% of the vote. Despite the AfD's strong performance, mainstream parties have formed coalitions to keep it out of power, a tactic that has drawn criticism. The AfD made history as the first far-right party to win a state election in Germany since the Nazi era. However, the party has faced accusations of neo-Nazism, and since its inception, mainstream German political parties have erected a firewall to prevent it from ever gaining power. Despite winning the most votes in the recent Thuringia state elections, the AfD was unable to form a government. Mainstream parties instead formed a coalition with the BSW to keep the AfD out of power. In two other states, Brandenburg and Saxony, the AfD didn't secure the most votes, but still came in second, improving its performance compared to previous elections. Meanwhile, the BSW secured third place in these regions. Both parties share similar stances on immigration and energy policies. The AfD opposes immigration entirely and wants to deport migrants, while the BSW supports strict immigration controls. In 2024, Germany hosted around 3.5 million immigrants, accounting for 4% of the population. Authorities reported that 41% of crimes in 2023 were committed by foreigners, many of whom arrived after the 2015 refugee crisis. On energy, the AfD opposes the EU's green policies and wants to reopen coal and nuclear power plants. Germany closed its last nuclear plant in April 2023 and plans to phase out coal by 2038. The BSW, while less extreme, also criticizes strict green energy transitions and advocates for reducing carbon taxes. Both parties advocate for the restoration of the Nord Stream gas pipeline and support purchasing cheap gas from Russia to help revive Germany's industrial sector. According to a senior AfD politician, the US was involved in sabotaging Nord Stream. Russia has also expressed support for the pro-Russian stance of both parties. Recently, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated in a speech that both the AfD and BSW are defenders of Germany's national interests. Economically, the two parties have different points of view. The AfD is pro-business and aims to keep overall taxes low, while the BSW is a pro-working-class party. The BSW believes that the wealthy should be taxed more heavily, while the working class should receive relief. It's important to note that both parties have so far found success primarily in former East Germany, a region that was historically under Soviet influence. The upcoming federal elections will determine whether these parties can achieve similar success in West Germany, or if they will only strengthen their hold in the East. What do you think? Should Germany continue to adopt policies that align with US influence and Western alliances, even if they are detrimental to its own interests? Or should it prioritize its national interests by fostering better relations with countries like Russia and China? Share your valuable opinions in the comments. We read every one of them. Thank you.